In this episode, I was contacted by the property owner to explore an old foundation in the corner of their yard. The landowner had previously uncovered some interesting bottles while removing the stone foundation. I had an hour for this detection and could use your help in identifying what the site could have been. Let's get into it. We're on site, and this site's a little interesting for me personally because I don't know anything about the history of this place. There is a foundation right here behind me. I'll let you guys see it. I'll let you pan over here. It's right here in all of this messy weeds, and we may have to come back out here when the snows flatten this all out. But there is an old cellar here. There's an old foundation in here, and I was called by the landowner, and they said, "Hey, you know, we got this anomaly on our property. We'd love for you to come out and take a look at it. Tell us what was there." So I come out here and looked at it. I'm like, well, I don't know. There is a huge pile of stone here. I thought, well, could this have been a chimney pile here? This been a house site here? I don't know. We're going to find that out in this episode. Now, I did do some research on the land itself, and it does show back in the 1800s that something did sit here. This site is old. There is a creek right here behind you, and there is a well here behind you, but it's on the adjacent landowner's property, and I don't have permission over there, so I'm not gonna go over there. I'm not gonna show that to you, but we're gonna do our concentrated effort right here. All right, I'm gonna use my Mind Lab, and I've got my little coil, 5-inch coil here, because trying to swing through this real heavy, thick stuff is going to be a challenge with a big coil. It's going to be a challenge even with a small coil. But there are a lot of rocks in here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a stone here. There's a stone wall right here. I think this is actually where the foundation stood. And then there's a hole over here. I'll take you guys over there when we get over to that side of the site. But there's a hole there, and that was either a cellar of a house, or it's a cellar of a barn, or it was just maybe just a cellar, a root cellar. We're going to find that out, but I'm going to try to swing in here with my small coil. Hopefully we find something in here that will tell us what this is and help us identify this for the landowner. All right, let's get started. Just popped the plug, pulled it out, and my first target, I mean, it's reading pretty high, 1517, and it's iron, and I do not know what this could be too. Kind of looks like a plug, maybe a screwed on there. Could have gone on a fence post. I don't know. I'm not concerned about finding iron because I want to find out what this was. So if we find a lot of iron, that tells me it's probably going to be a barn or a shed or something like that. Of course, that's not what we're looking for. We'd like to find some nice artifacts for the landowner. But we're trying to solve this mystery for the landowner. So for a little bit, I'm going to be digging this up. I'll probably show you some of the stuff that I find. I wanted to show you the first thing that I found, and I'll bring you back if we find anything decent or good. Now, it's got a good crisp sound to it. 2223. It could be aluminum or it could be a coin. Let's take a look. It's not good. It's not a good sound. Not like it was in the hole. fact, I might see, there's a round nail. Let's set this aside. Let's put on our, I think it's just going to be iron, but normally iron doesn't read that high. Is that it? Oh my gosh. Is that it? I think I know what this is. Holy cow. All right, you guys, this may not mean anything right now. I think this is a piece of colonial shoe buckle. This is a tomback material. Could it be? I think it could be, absolutely. I think it's a piece of colonial shoe buckle. Holy cow. This could be a really old home site. We may be on to something here. All right, let's keep going. All right, you guys. It's a low one. 11, 12, 11, 12, which normally I wouldn't be digging those low tones this early in the dig, because a lot of times those are probably pull tabs and pop tops. But because I just found that, what I think is a colonial shoe buckle piece, this could be tomback, and tomback has that same low grunt reading. All right, let me dig it up. Let's take a look. All right, I popped it up, pulled it out, and I see it right here. And it is round, it's brass. Oh, it's fragile. Oh, I know exactly what this is. Man, it is very, very fragile. Look, it's old. This is put this down. This is a top of an old oil lamp. You see that? That is the top of an old oil lamp. I think we're on it. Yep, I think there was an old house site here. I think that's what it is. Hopefully this is a beginning of really great things to come. So far, I have dug 2 holes, and both have been decent artifacts. Okay, let's keep going. All right, you guys, it was a deep, deep target. It took me a while to find it, to dig it out, and it is a beautiful tomback button. And tomback, tomback is an old metal, and these could date anywhere from, I mean, most tomback buttons are 1700s to early 1800s, about 1810. And wow, that's an old one. That is an old one. I'll let you listen to how that sounds, tomback sounds, on my Mind Lab. Normally they ring up really low, but now that I got it out of the ground, yeah, see there? 9, 10. If you don't dig those low tones, you absolutely will miss artifacts like that. And look, you can see it's not even circular. It's kind of oblong. That's a great find. I mean, the artifacts are starting to tell the story about this site. So far, it's pointing to an old homestead right here. And I'm thinking maybe 1700s. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's keep going. All right, you guys, I popped the plug and pulled it out. You can see where it fell off of here, the imprint here. I normally don't show these because I find so many of them. And it is a zinc lid. And you still see the ceramic. Looks like maybe I broke it. Maybe. Yeah, so there's part of it probably still in the hole. And this is the zinc lid. Now, the only reason I'm showing you this is, you know, these were really popularized after the Civil War. And clear up until, you know, the 1930s, is even beyond that, really. But zinc lids, you know, people would can, you know, they would can everything they grew in their garden, as much stuff as they could to last them through the winter. You know, so why would this be here, right? Would this be at a barn? Would it be at a cellar? You know, the stone piles right here behind you, right here. Looks like there's a stone, maybe corner of the foundation right here. Let me go right here. To me, again, this is just another promising confirmation that we're looking at an old house site. All right, I have a great hit here. I have not looked at it. It could be junk. I just found a piece of copper wire right over there, and it was heading this way, so it could be something associated with that. Look at that. I don't know if you can hear that, but man, it's a great number. I'm afraid it's going to be a zinc lid, but I don't see it. All right. Trash, junky. I still don't see it. Oh, what is that? What is that? Boy, it rang up so high. You know, it's not a bullet. Yeah, I don't know. Could it be the end of a utensil? Let's bag it and keep going. All right, it's been a while since I found anything. I've shown you just about everything decent that I've found. I found starting to find a lot of trash, and which I expected to find, but I wanted to bring you in here to let you see what I see. And I'm still trying to determine if this was an old house site or if it was a barn. But there is an indentation right here, and the landowner thought that this could be the cellar hole. And there is a stone wall right here. It goes right up through there. It's got a corner right there, and it goes across. It goes across to that bush right there, and it comes down. So it's actually got a big footprint. Very big footprint. All stone. And of course, it's got the cellar hole here, and the stone actually goes on down this way. Looks like there's a wall there, maybe even a part of a chimney. And I'll let you see this. You see the stone right here. It just goes right on up through there, and it corners out there, and it goes that way. It could have been a barn. You know, the old map that I have only shows one structure in this vicinity, and the well's across the road, and the landowner thinks that the original home site could have been over there by that well. But who knows? You know, who knows? This could have been it too. There is a well right over here where this creek is. And so, I mean, that's only about 50 feet over there, which would have been doable, you know, if this would have been a house site. But, you know, the wall came down through here, it corners out right here. Right here's a corner. And so it's a big square, but it's so big that I think this was a big, huge barn. That's what I think. All right, you guys, welcome back. I'm up here with the landowner. They wanted to share with me and show me, and you guys too, the bottles that they found down there. And these bottles were found, you said, in the rocks.
Yeah, within the formation area.
Of that area. And you said that your neighbor wanted some rocks, so you went down there and started pulling some of those rocks out, and you came across these beautiful, look at these. Dr. Farney's. It says Hagerstown, Maryland. Number 26. These are all cork top bottles. Here's one that's kind of purple. Larkin soap. Buffalo, number 10. If you guys want to look these up, let me know what the age of these are. Here's another cork top. Number 12. It would have been cool to if I'd hit into a mess of these. Castoria, probably castor oil. Yeah, very interesting. Buffalo. Moses Atwood. Jaundice bitters. Very interesting. Georgetown, Massachusetts. Some small little bottles. Chicago, Illinois. So what do you think they used these for? What do you think that building was used for down there? So we found a lantern. We found a lantern top, found an old button. We found what I thought could be a piece of shoe buckle. They found all these bottles down there, and I found a number of things. I'm going to let you see. I did find a piece of pot down there. Found a lot of junk, and I told him I think I need to come back. I just need to come back when the snow has weighted down that grass, and I can go in there and swing a little better, and maybe find some more interesting artifacts and be able to state exactly what that foundation went to. Building, barn, or a house. Anyway, I'll show you what we found. Everything I believe you've already seen. Couple pieces of zinc lids. You know, I found this doodad. Not sure what it is. It's pretty heavy. Found that. Found this right off the bat. All the good stuff I found like right off the bat. You know, I found this piece of shoe buckle, this lantern top, this tomback button, this piece of pot here, and these zinc lids, and that's well, and I found a lot of trash. I know it wasn't a lot, but it wasn't a lot of time, and honestly, they let me know. They contacted me, reached out to me, and asked me to come investigate this area of their property to let them know what that foundation went to. Right now, I still don't know. I don't know if it was a house, a barn, you know, a shed. You guys can see what I found. Tell me what you think. Comment below. All right, we'll catch you in the next episode.